started going upscale in the market, right? Small businesses, medium businesses, attorneys, lawyers. At that point, we moved into the enterprise services we'd never offered before. We had a huge infrastructure, 149,000 miles of fiber-based route that we owned ourselves, infrastructure, right? So we've been offering that to universities, hospitals forever. What we figured out is there's a huge market from what the other cables were doing, offering the services to their customers. Time Warner was the first to do it. We got into it. We were amazing at it. One of our best products we sold today. We went from selling 10 meg pipes because people didn't know who we were and what we did. Then all of a sudden we started start installing these services. And within a short period of time, the customers that were buying those services were loving it. In fact, we were just a backup, right? They were buying from AT&T and the local Telepacifics, all the other competitors in the market, because that's what they did before us. We got so good at it, they started buying our services, increasing services, and in time, we took over as the main provider for the services. So when we started off selling 10 meg pipes back 5 years ago, as far as fiber services, today we're offering 10 gig pipes to customers. They're buying it all the time. And we can offer that all day long over a single just bandwidth circuit, or also point-to-point services, right? Now, when we did that before, we could only do that regionally. So if we had a company that had offices in Utah or Denver or Portland or Seattle, we couldn't connect that network together over what we offer. I tell you what, folks, here's where we're at today. We can connect all of those offices today over our network across the United States on our network, as long as they're our equipment. We can do point-to-point services, we can do any-to-any services, and we can offer redundant backups all across the country, right? The other thing we're doing is we've also got NNIs with folks that we never thought we'd do business with 5 years ago. AT&T, Telepacifics, right? Obviously the cable codes like the Time Warners and the Charters, that was an easy match for us. And what we do is with our Type 2 handoffs, right, we are the main throat to choke. So if a customer buys service from us and they have services with Charter in, say, Southern California or Time Warner in Southern California, and we're the major provider of services in our footprint, well, they get one bill from us, we control the quality, they get one SLA from us, and we do that for them end-to-end. Nick, you want to talk about the network itself?
Yeah. So, well, I'm curious if you could tell us about your customer base, or because we could talk about Comcast all day long, but I want to make sure it's something that
makes sense for you.
So my company, we're here locally. We're an IT systems and systems integration company. Our heritage is in the telecom space. So while we do apps development today, and we're working more with enterprise, our heritage is telecoms. So,
yeah. And that's been a big challenge for us, right? Getting you folks to understand what the cable codes are doing today, and that's why we want to talk about that for you. So how does that sound? What do you think about what we're doing and what you folks are offering?
So my concern will be, I have an AT&T or ACC business circuit at a customer. I want a backup. If I order it from Mainstream, I order it from anybody, they're going to use the same fiber, they're going to use the same Sienna box, right? I need redundancy. If I order from Comcast, where is the backbone going to come from? Is it going to come off?
So the Comcast network is fully 100% owned, operated by Comcast. So where you have a telco CO, and you have the fiber that comes out of that CO to your customer, you have a Comcast head end on the opposite side of town with our own fiber infrastructure going into that customer, taking a different route, and once it gets inside, it terminates to different separate equipment. So we're really like the cable carrier in general, no matter where your customer is the ultimate redundant play.
That's always the case. You never use the local loop from the local
the last mile is always 100% Comcast, except in limited instances like Charlie had mentioned, where we have a customer or a customer site that's out of footprint, right? Because the difference between Comcast and an AT&T or Windstream is that our footprint is like in pockets, or any cable carrier's footprint is in pockets, right? So if it's out of footprint, we will lease the last mile from, say, Charter or some other carrier, but then run it end to end.
So you have the same problem essentially.
Not in this case. In this case, if we're the cable carrier in the area, right?
You're the cable
then we
carrier.
can get in there with native infrastructure.
So I don't see the building having any coax terminations at
We're
this
talking
point.
about fiber or coax we can do, and we build, really, I'd say about 75 to 80% of the opportunities that we sell involve builds. So people ask where you're on net buildings, or where are you on net, where are you lit? It's like, well, we can share that information with you, but we're also a fully functional construction machine, right? And so
Love to see that. The reason is in our building, we are in downtown San Jose.
Yeah.
We have a relationship with about 8 landlords of our high-rise. We went into one of the buildings. They direct contacted me because we are one of the tenants in one of those buildings. And I asked them, hey, can I work with you? See, the direct get cut out if I get involved. So, is there a different way to manage it?
As far as you talk about conflicts with the direct team?
So, the direct is calling into the tenants in that building. I have a much higher opportunity to sell.
Absolutely, better relationship.
But the thing that is, in this business, you don't burn bridges. You don't, I've been doing this for 18 years.
And I agree with you. I mean, we have more turnover than a partner would have, right? Partners have relations for many, many years. We have turnover and things come and go, right? So, I mean, the conflict issue is something we'd have to take off on a one-on-one basis and maybe look at the whole relationship you have with them and see how we can make that happen.
One thing I like to do is I like to probably make some joint sales effort with you on some selected buildings in downtown. So if you're interested.
My name is Jonathan McGee. I'm sorry, I had to use the restroom. So I'm the channel rep from Comcast that covers San Jose. So yeah, let's have a conversation. I'll come to your office. We're going to.
I will shoot you over my info. I don't have my cards on me today.